Senator Chuck Grassley has cultivated a decades-long reputation for protecting whistleblowers and fighting for government transparency. Now he's plunging into the harrowing task of probing a sexual assault allegation while advancing a Supreme Court nominee that could define him and the GOP for years to come. The 85-year-old Iowa Republican is trying to stay sensitive and coaxing Christine Blasey Ford to talk to his Senate Judiciary Committee next week, and leading the charge to confirm Supreme Court nominee Brett Kavanaugh, whom Ford alleges assaulted her. It's a delicate juggling act that serves as the climax to a conservative career spent alternately battling Democrats and working with them against his party leadership. On Wednesday, Grassley's challenge was on vivid display as he sympathized with Ford for facing death threats that he said disturbed him in a letter to her attorneys. Then, a few paragraphs later in that letter, Grassley served up a fastball. Ford's testimony and biography are due by Friday morning if she intends to show up on Monday. Grassley says he's going to great lengths to be fair to Ford, offering to fly a staffer to California to interview her and making repeated attempts to contact her lawyers. But his dilemma is the same as the rest of his party's, being as delicate as possible with an alleged sexual assault victim while keeping Kavanaugh headed toward the bench. Where I am focused right now is doing everything that we can to make Dr. Ford comfortable with coming before our committee, either in an open session or a closed session or a public or a private interview. That's 4 different ways she can choose, Grassley told reporters on Wednesday. He said the hearing would be fruitful only if both Ford and Kavanaugh show up. The famously curmudgeonly Grassley faces competing imperatives as he works through one of the most fraught periods of his 43-year political career. Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell, RK, is trying to get Kavanaugh confirmed before the midterm elections, and many of Grassley's colleagues are arguing there should be no delay. But for Democrats and advocates fighting sexual violence, Grassley is in too much of a rush given his long-running history of urging people to come forward on their own terms about malfeasance. They say he needs to stop and assess his place in history before going forward. I've known him at times to really be a victim advocate, so I'm surprised that he seems to be rushing and setting it up in a way that we don't think is trauma-informed, said Terry Moore, policy director for the National Alliance to End Sexual Violence. Senator Grassley is a man who cares about doing the right thing. And I think that sometimes doing the right thing can rise over politics. Senator Mazie Hirono, Democrat Hawaii, a liberal member of the Judiciary Committee, said Ford has received unacceptable treatment from Grassley. I expect more. I would expect Senator Grassley to be much more even-handed and fair-minded in how he's treating Dr. Ford, Hirono said in an interview. She's just told, "Here, we are having a hearing on Monday. Take it, or leave it." This is not the treatment I'd expect from Chairman Grassley. It traumatizes her all over again. Republicans see Grassley, now in his 7th term, as continuing his long history of autonomy and trying to accommodate those he disagrees with. He quickly proposed a public hearing with Ford and canceled a planned Thursday committee vote to move forward on Kavanaugh after the California-based professor went public with her allegation. And there's no one the GOP would rather have helming such a frenetic confirmation fight than the senior senator from Iowa. Judiciary Committee member John Kennedy, RLA, said he's been a senatorial rock star